In this video, we're going to be looking back at my Game Week 2016, looking forward to my team selection for Game Week 27. It is a double game week. Brentford, Brighton, Palace and Southampton do double, and we'll be talking about the best captain option for this game week. So before we look into my Game Week 27 team and my Game Week preview, let's quickly run through the Game Week 26. So I did end up on 49 points with a rank, a green arrow. So I'm now up to 737,000. My Game Week rank of just under 3.5 million. So the standouts were Kepa in goal, Estupinan, defensive clean sheet, very happy with that. In the midfield, disappointing with the Arsenal players and Zinchenko as well. Alongside Rashford as well with that 7-0 drumming Liverpool gave to Man United. Matoma delivered though, get very happy with that with a goal and an assist. A Kane blank, which is disappointing again, being costing so much money, you kind of expect him to score or at least get one return. Haaland with an assist, pretty disappointing, but it's not too much to stress about as everyone has Haaland. And then Ivan Toney delivering a green arrow in the final game of the game week on Monday night against Fulham with a penalty. So yeah, pretty happy with the game week 26 wildcard. Obviously disappointed I took Salah out of my team as I did wildcard. But unlike other people that had Liverpool defence and maybe Darwin Núñez as well, I actually don't think I ended up on much different points than I did pre-wildcard. So, and I'm looking in much better shape, looking at Game Week 27 and further on, but we'll get into that now. So starting off in net, we have David Raya with a really good double game week. So yes, Everton away and Southampton away, two teams that are towards the lower end of the division. Although Southampton have kept two clean sheets in the last 3 games, you got to fancy them not to score. So you got to fancy Brentford to keep a clean sheet in this game. With David Raya as well, you're always looking good for kind of save and bonus points. So he's really good for that. So yeah, definitely a goalkeeper you should look to bring in this week. I'm actually really thankful that I didn't bring in Sanchez on my wild card because I was really close, and it actually changed it within the last 5 minutes before the deadline. I did have Sanchez in my team, so yeah, thankfully I did make that move to David Raya. In the defence, so Rico Henry. And Brentford defender, so the same fixtures, Everton away and Southampton away. And like I said, the same kind of rules apply. Southampton have been doing good recently, so 2 wins out of 3 and 2 clean sheets out of 3, but they've only scored 1 goal in that 3-game span. So they're not really free scoring. So I do fancy them to keep clean sheet in that game. Everton away could be a little bit trickier, but although Sean Dyche had a good start to his Everton career by beating Arsenal, they haven't been as good or kicked on like we all would expect. And obviously we've seen that with our Tarkowski picks, 2 0-pointers in a row and a 0-pointer in a double game week is never good. Next up, we've got Estupinan, a player I think will score very highly this week. So Leeds away and Palace at home. Really good fixtures for Brighton. And Estupinan is a really great option. He hasn't blanked since game week 19. So he's, against Liverpool, he got 6, Leicester 9, Bournemouth 6, Palace 7, Fulham 8, and West Ham 9. And another good thing about Estupinan is he comes off around the 70th minute. So last game was 75th. The game before that was 61st. So there's always a chance he can blank that clean sheet before his teammates. And if Brighton concede, then he still has that clean sheet. He's also a massive threat going forward. He can get assists. Sometimes he can get goals. So yeah, I'm really happy with him in my team. Next up, we've got Trippier in the team. So Wolves at home. Although Wolves picked up a good result last time round against Spurs, I do fancy Newcastle to kind of get back to winning ways, as they haven't won a game since game week 20, and they've only won 1 since game week 17. So yeah, Newcastle should really be looking to get back and kind of rebuild that defensive solidarity that they had earlier on in the season. They actually haven't kept a clean sheet since game week 21. So hopefully they can do that this game week. The bench is actually looking really strong in terms of defensive options this game week too. So you have Zinchenko on the bench against Fulham away. Although Fulham like to score goals, I do fancy Arsenal to keep a clean sheet in this one and to win that game. And Zinchenko is always a threat going forward, but compared to the double game week players and Trippier, I think it's right to have him on the bench. We've also got Botman, obviously plays for Newcastle well as well with Wolves at home. Trippier is just that attacking threat, and he has a more chance of scoring, so that's why I've gone for Trippier. But now we'll move on to the midfield. So next up, we have a really strong midfield with two double game week players. Although they are from the same team, Brighton do have really good fixtures, as mentioned, with Estupinan. So Leeds away and Crystal Palace at home. Mitoma did get a massive haul last time out, as we saw in my game week 26 review. So a goal and an assist. So really happy with that, and really hopeful he can get a big score in this double game week. Hopefully a goal against Leeds and a goal against Palace would be great. Brighton have been scoring a lot more goals recently. So they've got 4 against West Ham. They've also scored 2 against Leicester recently, 3 against Liverpool, 4 against Everton, 2 against Arsenal, 3 against Southampton. So yeah, they love scoring goals at the minute. Also got Solly March, so disappointing last time out, but for 5.1 million, you can't really expect him to kind of score every week. He did get a 10-pointer against Palace earlier on in this, a few weeks ago actually. So hopefully he can do the same in the return leg at home. So yeah, hopeful of them too. And I actually think McAllister is a good option too if you are looking to bring in a Brighton player. So yeah, if you're looking for Brighton player, Mitoma or McAllister, for me, March is a good option too, and I have gone for March, as you can see. But I feel like McAllister with his penalties could be the better option. And then even the single game week players in my midfield have really good games. Saka with Fulham away. Fulham are a decent team, but they do concede. Then they do score as well. So I fancy that game to be kind of 5-goal thriller, and I fancy Saka to get a few returns. Rashford as well with Southampton at home. Like I said, although Southampton have been keeping a lot of clean sheets. Well, they kept 2 clean sheets in the last 3. They've won the last 2 of the last 3 games. I do feel like Man United need to kind of step it up after that thrashing against Liverpool, and a home game against Southampton is probably one of the best games to do it at. And Rashford has been on fire at home this season. But we'll move on to the big guns up front. So now for our strike force, we'll start off with Harry Kane with a really good fixture. Well, I say good fixture. Forest have been doing a lot better recently, and they have been looking good in terms of defensively and even going forward with Brennan Johnson. But yeah, fancy Harry Kane to get a few goals in this one. Although he didn't score last time out, he has been kind of ticking along nicely, getting kind of a goal a game, getting 8 points, 6 points a game, and I'm more than happy with that. If Salah was, say, I don't know, it's kind of hindsight, but if Salah was to perform like he did against Man United kind of most weeks, or at least perform like he did last year consistently, then maybe you have an argument to not have Harry Kane and have Salah. But for me, Harry Kane is probably the second best premium option behind Erling Haaland at the moment. Speaking of Erling Haaland, he's next up front. So with a fixture against Palace away. It is a fixture where City have struggled in the past. Palace are kind of their bogey team, and they kind of always lose there, I'm pretty sure, or drop points at least. Haaland hasn't been doing like as great as he did before the World Cup, post World Cup, but he still managed to score kind of a bag full of goals. I think he's managed to score, almost 10 goals since the World Cup. And he got only an assist last time out, but against Bournemouth he got a goal and an assist. So yeah, I do fancy Haaland to get a goal in this one. I don't feel like there's a hat trick there, but that could be famous last words. And now for my captain choice, and I do think he is the best captain choice, is Ivan Toney. So 2 away games, which can be tough, but Brentford do have a good away record. So he did manage to get a draw against Arsenal away. Did also beat West Ham away. beat Man City away, so they can beat. Well, they're beating some of the top two teams in the league away, so I feel they can definitely beat Everton and Southampton. The reason I've gone for Tony over, say, Matoma, who is my vice captain, is because Tony is on penalties, like we saw in that game on Monday against Fulham. He's lethal from the penalty spot. He's also very, very good on free kicks. So in that game, he did hit kind of the in between the crossbar and the post, that little corner bit with a free kick. So just off the woodwork, and he's done that as well before in this season as well. So hopefully he can do it in this double game week. There is an argument to go Matoma because he does get the extra point for kind of clean sheet and an extra point, kind of bonus points because he is a midfielder. My friend FPL Matt Day let me know that. So yeah, that could be, definitely check him out as well. And that could be another option. You could go for McAllister, who's on penalties, but for me, it's definitely out of Matoma and Tony, and I'm going for the penalty taker. I'm going for, as well, Brentford, who I think more goals come from Tony. So he is more the talisman of the team, whereas Brighton, Matoma is a great player, but they've got March, they've got McAllister, they've got even Ferguson up front. They have other players that can score goals. So yeah, that's the reason I've gone for Tony. But let me know below, do you think Tony is the best captain option? And also let me know, are you making any transfers? So for me, I'm not making any transfers. So I'm going with this team. I'm really happy with my wild card, and I'm hoping to kind of gain ranks and climb up the mini leagues with the double game week in 29, with this double game week, and with the blank game week in 28. So yeah, let me know below what you're doing with your team. If you are new around here, please make sure you subscribe to the channel. We've received a lot of new subscribers recently, so hello to all of you. And on your way out, make sure you click that like button because it really, really helps out the channel. And yeah, good luck with the game week.